This episode is brought to you by Southern California Equestrian Sports.
Hi everyone, I'm Frankie Terriot-Stutes, joined by Lynn Szymanski, and on this episode of Behind the Barn, we're sitting down to interview the legendary Phillip Dutton. Before we get underway, let me give you a proper introduction to Phillip in case for any reason you haven't heard of him at this point. We'd like to welcome you to Equestrian Sports for the first time because we're excited to have you as a new member getting acclimated if that's the case. That, of course, because Phillip is a 7-time Olympian in the sport. Yes, I said 7, which continues to be a number hard for me to even fathom. He's been competing at the Kentucky Horse Park at the sport's top level since '96, is a former winner here, has come second 5 times as well, and holds the highest percentage rate of jumping clean when he leaves the cross-country start box of anyone to ever do so at Defender, Kentucky. Beyond 3 Olympic medals to his credit, Phillip also has secured notable hardware at several other major championships and been the leading U.S. rider too many times for me to count on 2 hands, and his contributions and rolls out of the saddle are nearly just as impressive. Phillip's coached and mentored most of the big names in this country, as well as his native country of Australia in some way or another. He's been a constant advocate for off-the-track thoroughbreds and has also remained deeply dedicated to the sport's growth and sustainability in every regard. So I feel like those highlights still don't even begin to do Phillip justice. But with that all said, we'd like to do justice to this episode's sponsor and say a proper thank you to Southern California Equestrian Sports. Southern California Equestrian Sports is a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting equestrian athletes and event organizers by facilitating tax-deductible fundraising efforts. So with all that said, we proudly welcome the one and only Phillip Dutton to Behind the Barn for 2025. Phil, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Frankie. Great to be here. What an intro. That was long.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, you've had a pretty decorated career, so long it should be. But Lynn, I'm going to let you go ahead and fire away at Phillip with some of our list of questions first.
Yeah, so Phillip, there have been so many heroic journalists over the years, I'm sure, that have asked you so many questions. We don't even know where to start with you. So we're going to go in a little bit of a different direction to start you out. A little rapid fire question.
I'm worried already.
Should be just a little nervous.
All right. So just first thing that comes to mind, answer. They're not very complicated questions.
Okay.
All right. Doing dressage or making small talk?
I'm not fond of both, actually.
Pass. Okay. Learning to braid or learning to clean tack?
I've never braided a horse in my life. So in Australia, we used to roach their mane. We clip their mane instead of braiding. So.
Okay.
I can do the tack. So.
Okay. We're going with tack over
tack,
shaving the mane. Okay. Losing your phone or losing your wallet?
I usually do both. I probably have a better record with my phone.
Apple Watch or real watch?
I actually have an Apple Watch at the moment. So.
Pinot Grigio or beer?
How do I choose? I usually start with beer and then go on to Pinot after that. So 50-50.
Okay, how does it work if you start with the beer and go on to Pinot? Or other way around?
Yeah, we could do it that way too. But it's usually beer and then Pinot. So.
Okay. Pinot, beer, Pinot. We don't do red in there anymore.
I've skipped the red.
Okay. Yeah.
It usually means a headache for me.
Yeah. So. Pre-Kentucky prep. Okay. Bull riding or skydiving?
I have never skydived, but I have done a little bull riding. So.
Have you?
I wouldn't call it a bull. I'd call it a steer.
Okay. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Oh, wow. Relaxing, good weather, so that's 3, family time, and health. Good health.
Good. One thing you own that you should really throw out? Maybe we need to get Evie in for this question.
Probably some of the clothes I've got.
Okay. Okay. It was pretty painless. You did pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We're just getting started. So, just lightening things up a little bit. Now we're going to get a little more serious for a second. So for many decades now, you've been at the top of the sport. You've won countless times and had beyond what anyone would consider a decorated, legendary career. But you're still choosing to work on your craft every single day, which impresses so many of us. You've dedicated yourself to still improving in any way possible, and you still compete around the world. So we want to know what fuels you to keep doing this day in and day out.
Well, I enjoy it, and I still think I can get better, and I like the process. I like the grind of it. It's not hard for me to go to work every day. Like, I enjoy it, and I don't know. I just feel I can. I'm not going to go forever by any means, but I think I've got a couple of good years left in me, and so I'm motivated to do as best I can.
So, Philip, what do you think has been the toughest challenge of your career? I know there've been a lot, I'm sure, but what comes to your mind first is?
Well, that's pretty easy. I mean, having your family member get hurt and go through that. So that was made me question the sport a lot. And but she was doing what she loved to do, and I sort of had to keep reminding myself of that.
Yeah.
If you could trade places with any other athlete in the world, I mean, you've been to 7 Olympic Games, so you've gotten to walk around to see a lot of the sports up close and personal. If you could trade with somebody for a day, who would you pick and why?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I pick one. I mean, I actually wanted to be a jockey at some stage, and so I'd like the idea of that. I mean, the golfing looks, at the highest level. I'm sort of really into that. The tennis looks great. I'd love to be a great tennis player. I wanted to, be a rugby player. So, it's a long list, basically.
You would have a go around them all.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of different body types too in all of the sports.
Yeah, and I haven't got any of that.
I was envisioning like the jockey to the tennis guy, their arm length and reach. It was really kind of a profound mix.
Yeah, I'm pretty ambitious.
So, Philip, what is your guilty pleasure snack at the barn at the end of the day or during the day?
My snack, I usually have a lot of crackers when I try not to eat too much during the day because it doesn't mix well with riding. So at the end, I usually have crackers and that kind of stuff. But I do like chocolate as well. So I wouldn't say I have that at the end of the day, but that would be my guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Like saltine crackers or Ritz crackers? Like what kind of crackers?
Ritz.
Animal crackers?
No, not animal crackers. What do you wheat thins? Wheat
thins.
Yeah,
Those are really good choice.
I eat a box of those every 2
over
days.
a Triscuit, a wheat thin.
Yeah, I don't like Triscuits.
Wheat thins are much better, less dry.
Yeah.
Has a little more substance in there too,
True.
Carb loading.
The secret to still being able to ride like Phillip Dutton, wheat thins. Just eat wheat thins. That'll do you. All right. Well, we have a quick mini game. So we want to play our game called 2 Truths and a Lie. So, Philip, you've prepared 2 truths about yourself and a lie, and Lynn and I are going to try to guess them. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
So you want me to say the 3 things now? And
you can say them in any order and try to fool us.
You're trying to trick us.
Okay.
With your best poker face.
Okay. I'm a big vegetable garden. I have a big vegetable garden and supply my whole family with vegetables for the summer and the fall. My first 3-day event in this country, I fell off twice on the cross country on one horse, and I represented Australia in rugby before I moved over here.
Represented Australian rugby in the international level, or?
Yeah.
What month of the year do you plant your vegetables in Pennsylvania?
April.
All right, Lynn, you're going to have to guess because I'm not sure.
Well, I'm only going to have to say rugby because he sold himself that he wanted to play rugby.
I'm going to say that he didn't fall off twice in the first event instead, because I kind of am cheating a little bit. So, and I don't like lying. So I'll tell the truth, because Olivia actually told me that he was a gardener before, and I was really surprised. So I have never forgotten.
Do you really plant in April?
That's exaggerated.
I need to brush.
I was asking that question because I'm wondering when to plant mine here, actually, but it probably doesn't translate.
California's a bit different.
All right, Phil. So how did we do here?
You did well. Yeah, I am a gardener, and I did fall off twice.
Dang it, Lynn wins.
Essex 3-day event. But I didn't represent Australia in rugby, and I was far from it.
Okay,
I would have loved to.
Lynn Amansky, that one's for you. You're the winner.
Yeah, I did. You know what? You and your friend Boyd had a very similar one, except he trumped you because he actually said he did 2 rotationals on the same horse at one competition. So.
He did. Yep, similar vibe.
Yeah. He's always trying to one-up me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we know the fans always have the best questions, so we are going to give you a few fan questions from our audience. The first one is from Josh Taylor from Pennsylvania. He asked, "Is it true Phillip Dutton once got pulled over in Aiken for running a yellow light?"
Well, Josh Taylor was in the car with me.
It's good to have friends in low places.
Exactly.
Did you talk your way out of the ticket?
Well, he could see that I was an honest, law-abiding person and just let me go.
Right.
So, but how do you get pulled over in the first place by a yellow light?
We were in a rush. So it was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. So I learned my lesson.
There's a lot more to this story. Some reason. Okay, Lynn, go ahead.
Okay, our next audience question is from Joni Morris of Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. She writes, "Do you think you have a retirement career making social media videos?"
No.
No. Is there backstory to this we need to hear about?
There must be, yeah. So Joni's pulled up some footage of me that's probably I shouldn't be showing around.
Well, on a more serious note, I have a question from the audience here. What do you see yourself doing in your retirement?
That's a good question. I play a role in the sport in some ways. We're heavily involved with Olivia, and so hopefully I'll still play a part there in the future, and there's coaching roles, and I'd say I'll still keep riding and producing horses, and we have a great facility here, so we can sort of broaden that a bit more with bringing other people in as well. So I think there's plenty of options.
I'd appreciate one more option to let you come to California and give you some Pinot in exchange for planting my garden here. So we'll just keep all the options flowing.
Deal.
All right. Well, our next question comes to us from Dr. Kevin Keene. He wrote in to ask, "What do you think happens when you die?"
Well, I mean, that's a lot of people have different opinions on that, but I don't think about it too much, but it's an interesting question from Dr. Keene, being a veterinarian. But certainly it's not something that I want to look into or know about too early. So.
Well, he also had a second question, which was, what made you more nervous? And this is a real question that you'll be able to answer, honestly, because he wants to know, getting in the start box at your first badminton yourself, or watching your daughter Olivia get in the start box at her first Kentucky?
Well, that's an easy one. I mean, I'm much more nervous for Olivia than it is for me. But not to say that I don't have nerves and get worried about it all, just like everybody else does. But it's always harder if you're watching and supporting than it is doing it yourself.
Do you feel like it's finally payback for your wife, Evie, having to watch you for so many years? Now you're really starting to get, understand what you've put her through?
I know. I actually, that's true. I do apologize to her now.
Yeah,
and say,
that's
I'm
nice.
so sorry, honey.
Has she
Now
had to
she gets
settle
to
you
watch you
down?
both.
Does she have to help you with some of your nerves now, putting her in the start box all the time?
Who, Olivia or Evie?
No, Evie.
Her way of dealing with it is not to be there. So she tries to not watch and stay as out of it. So, we've got our own little system. Everybody gets their own system, how they make it work. And, I learned when Olivia's on edge or a bit nervous is to kind of leave her alone and not bug her too much, and try to be careful what you say, and so you don't get snapped at. And it works pretty well. She's we've got our own little system between us, and so
I think that's
it's
also
not
just
easy,
called
but-
parenting too.
Yes, parenting. Exactly. But sometimes as a parent, you got to stop becoming the parent and just become the friend as well when you're in that situation, when she's, when it's going to be one of the toughest days of her life. I just got to be there for her and not be a dad kind of thing, but just be a friend for her.
And is that something that you have to think about a lot? Does that come natural to you on that fine line of coach versus parent, and where that starts and stops?
Yeah, I mean, I think, been competing at this high level for a long time, and I know that's a big advantage for me to know what she's going through, and, when she's second guessing herself, or when she's, just worried about the outcome or how she's going to perform. So I know what she's going through. So I try to rely on that and know what I'd need if I was in her situation, and try to become that. Yeah, sometimes it's a coach, sometimes it's a dad, or just to tell her I love her. It doesn't matter what, just stuff you need that keep you going. And and it is good to have if you have people behind you that are with you through thick and thin, and that. I mean, that's a great thing to. Because you got to go out there and take a chance, and sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. But knowing that you still got parents behind you or owners behind you that really support you, it gives you a bit more freedom to give it a real shot and go for it, rather than, if I screw up, they might take the horse off me, or dad's going to not pay for whatever,
Right.
So I don't know. I just like to let her feel as if, just go for it. And, if it, in a good way, not in a chancy way, but just, give it everything you got, and we'll see what happens.
No, absolutely. That's a good point. We have one more question for you. This is Allison from Montana. She writes in, have you ever asked someone for their autograph? And if so, who?
Have I asked for somebody for my autograph? Yes, that's a good question, actually. Who do I get? Oh, yes, Stormy Daniels.
Oh, okay. So, and what did you do with the autograph?
It's sitting. I've got a picture of her, and it's sitting above my desk, my office, which it's hidden kind of from my wife, because she's not that big a fan of me having a picture of a Stormy there. But.
Right. Well, she'll never find out about it. She probably won't watch this.
No, they've met. She actually they had a film shoot here.
Oh, at your place too?
No, but for Vanity Fair. Not the porn.
Okay. A different kind.
Thank you for clarifying that for our viewers.
Yeah.
All right, Lynn. Well, with that.
So, Philip, before we send you off home, you've been to Kentucky so many times, and I mean, you are such a staple at that event. Can you talk to our viewers a little more about what it feels like and what has changed over the years of how special this competition is, and what you're thinking when you're going down that ramp, when you're finally, trying to bring home another win for America, hopefully this coming year?
Yeah, you did right. I mean, it is such a special event for us. And I don't know, something about that horse park when I've been there other times when it's not the Land Rover, and it's not the 5-star, and it's not quite the same. And you drive in there, and the hair on your on your neck stands up a little bit because it's so exciting to, it's there's something about it when you get to that park. And, obviously I've been to many events throughout the world, but this one is as good as it gets. And so it is special. The crowds are special. They're about the loudest crowds around. Like there's a lot of cheering, and the cross country course is always challenging. It's always exciting down to the last day on the show jumping. So it's a special event.
And do you and Livy get separate textiles?
Oh yeah. That is like.
Have you ever tried sharing one?
Oh, she is so particular about everything. Like she just won't even become. Even if she'd rather have a stall in between us as well.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's kind of like sharing a room with your dad,
Yeah, she's not big at sharing tech rooms with me, I'll tell you that.
Well, Phillip, thank you so much. As we send you off, we're really, as we say, going to be rooting for you this year at Kentucky.
Well, for our viewers, don't forget to send in your questions for our riders on the upcoming episodes of Behind the Barn. You can do that via email at info@athletics.com. And don't forget to share this episode with your friends, your family, and everyone you can think of. A huge thanks again to Southern California Equestrian Sports for sponsoring this episode of Behind the Barn, and of course to Phillip Dutton for joining us. I'm Frankie Terry at Stutz, and on behalf of myself and my co-host Lynn Szymanski, thanks for watching.